Hey, Wealthy Cousins, I'm Kanisha, and today we're talking to Chat-Tisha about the secrets inside personal life coverage. Chat-Tisha, why is life insurance called the secret weapon for wealth building?
All right, let's break that down. Life insurance is often called a secret weapon for building wealth because it's this quiet, steady way to protect your loved ones and pass something down. It's like having a financial safety net that can also create a bit of a legacy. So it's not just about covering immediate needs. It's about making sure your family or your legacy has some security for the future.
Okay, tell me more because I know a lot of people feel like life insurance is just for when you die.
A lot of folks do think life insurance is just about that final moment. But in reality, it's kind of like a multi-purpose tool. Not only does it give your family financial security if something happens to you, but certain types of life insurance can actually build cash value over time. That means you can tap into it while you're still alive if you need to. So it's kind of this way to build a little financial cushion and keep your loved ones protected.
Okay, but what does tap into it mean? If you put money in, you're not able to take it out right away, right?
When I say tap into it, I mean that certain types of life insurance, like whole life or universal life policies, build up the cash value over the years. That cash value is like a little savings pot you can borrow from or even withdraw from if you need to. It's not instant like pulling money from a checking account. It does take some time to build up that value. But once it's there, it's like having a financial backup plan that you can access if you really need to.
Why is it that most people feel like life insurance is hard to get?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Honestly, it's because a lot of folks think it's going to be a super complicated process. But the truth is, it's really about finding the right type of coverage for you. Sometimes it feels intimidating because there's a lot of jargon, or it seems like there's a bunch of hoops to jump through. But once you break it down in a way that's simple and makes sense, it's really not as hard as it seems. So it's all about just having those conversations and making it feel approachable.
Answer these questions directly to help someone who may not know what life insurance is and how they can protect their family at a reasonable cost.
Life insurance is the way to make sure that if something happens to you, your loved ones get financial support. It can help cover things like living expenses, debts, or keeping things stable when you're not around. There are a lot of affordable options out there, especially if you start with something simple like term life insurance, which covers you for a set period and is usually budget friendly. Once you have that in place, you've got a layer of protection for your family. It's about taking that first step and realizing it can be more accessible than it seems.
Got it. What's the real difference between term life and whole life and IUL that everyone talks about?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive into that. The difference is pretty much like the difference between renting and owning. Term life is like renting coverage for a set amount of time. It lasts for a specific term, like 10, 20, or 30 years. If something happens to you during that time, your family gets the benefit. If not, it just ends. It's usually more affordable because it's temporary. Whole life, on the other hand, is like owning. It's permanent as long as you pay your premiums, and it can build up cash value over time. That cash value is the part you can borrow against or use in the future. IUL, or Index Universal Life, is kind of like a flexible middle ground. It's permanent like whole life, but the cash value can grow based on an index, like the stock market. It gives you a little more flexibility in how you pay and how the value grows. So each one has its own vibe, and it just depends on what fits your situation and your budget best.
When you say how you pay or what you pay, a lot of people misunderstand that the IUL can have a flexible premium. It usually has that minimum and then the maximum premium. Can you share a little bit about what a premium is, how the IUL differs from the whole life? Because whole life, your premiums stay the same. Once you get it at a certain rate, you can't adjust them.
Yeah, exactly. So let's break it down a little further. A premium is just a fancy way of saying your payment for the insurance. It's what you pay regularly, whether that's monthly, yearly, or however you set it up to keep your coverage active. Now, with whole life insurance, that premium is pretty much locked in from the start. Once you start paying a certain amount, that amount stays the same over the life of the policy. So you know exactly what to expect and it doesn't change. With an IUL or Indexed Universal Life, you get more flexibility. There's a minimum amount you have to pay to keep the policy active, but you can also pay more if you want to build up that cash value faster or take advantage of the indexing options. You have a little wiggle room to adjust how much you're putting in over time, depending on what works for you. So in short, whole life is stable and predictable, while IUL gives you that flexibility to adjust your premiums within certain limits. It's just about what fits your financial style and your goals.
Okay, well, that's awesome. But let me ask you about the term. And now they have a bunch of different terms where, for example, you can get return of premium, a term with living benefits, and maybe go into detail about living benefits and how that applies to term and permanent policies.
Absolutely. With term life, there's a lot more variety now than just the basic. Some term policies now come with a return of premium option, which means if you outlive that term, like if you have a 20-year policy and you're still here after 20 years, they'll actually give you back the premiums you paid in. So it's like a safety net where you get the coverage or your money back if you don't need to use it. Living benefits are another feature that's becoming more common. These let you access a portion of the death benefit while you're still alive if you have a serious illness or a critical health condition. If you're dealing with a major illness and need funds for medical costs or to help out financially while you're still around, you can find these on both term policies and some permanent policies. It's a nice layer of extra protection and flexibility. In other words, it's not just about what happens after you're gone. It's also about giving you some options and support if you need it while you're still here.
As a life insurance advocate, I like to encourage people to at least get their options, especially if they don't have any coverage. We want coverage while we're living and after we're gone, so our family doesn't have to struggle.
Absolutely. And that's such a great way to put it. At the end of the day, it's really about making sure that your family is taken care of, both while you're here and after you're gone. It's not selfish at all to want that peace of mind. Exploring your options is a great first step. Even if you start small, having something in place means you're looking out for your loved ones and giving them that layer of protection. It's all about taking that step, having those conversations, and knowing you're doing something meaningful for the people you care about.
Does life insurance have to be scary or the conversation complex?
Oh, not at all. Life insurance really doesn't have to be scary or complicated. It's just about making sure you understand it in a way that feels natural and easy, like we're doing right now. It's just another tool to protect the people you love. So yeah, no fear needed, just a friendly conversation and you're good to go.
Perfect. And that's it.
I'm glad we could chat it out and make it feel easy. Anytime you need to dive into more of these topics, just let me know.
All right, Wealthy Cousins, those are legacy money gems. We're talking all about life insurance secrets. Follow for more content just like this and check the captions for details.
Oh, abundance is your birthright, yeah, you're meant to rise. Building wealth for the future, reaching for the skies. Together we create, we build, we thrive. Wealthy cousins on the move, it's our time to shine.